So what's the driver to re-platform? Cost,
Cost.
ease of use, bigger tech stack considerations.
Yeah, and also given the ability to the internal team
Mm.
that they can update and scale the site, because let's say you're in a custom CMS, then you want to move to WordPress because you don't want to keep on paying the developers all the time to do the changes,
Yeah.
and you can't scale the site out.
Yeah.
So
Which is actually a common theme. We've always
yeah,
had that.
yeah, yeah,
Autonomy.
yeah,
Marketers always want more ability, more capability, so they can be more efficient with external spend and budget
exactly,
and get more done internally.
exactly.
That's always been a driver of
Yeah,
migrating to
yeah.
another platform.
And also just having a platform that moves with you and keeps up to date with you. So, obviously making sure that if you move from a custom CMS, which has to go through every couple of years, would need to go through an update. That would involve template changes, architecture changes, everything changes. Whereas something like WordPress is always updating.
Yep.
And even Shopify is always updating. There's all different versions of modules that update on it. So it ensures that you don't have to keep on having to redesign and redevelop your whole site every, 3 years, 2 years.
A lot of our B2B partners are migrating to HubSpot.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. I mean, most B2B brands use it as their CRM. So it makes sense to is all the data you have into HubSpot with all the analytics and all your kind of customer data, then it's a lot cleaner in that scenario. There's not HubSpot is slightly I would say not used a lot, but it is starting to get used a lot more now, I would say. And it's a little bit different to how WordPress sites operate and everything. So even putting the things like your tracking and everything, that's slightly different on HubSpot than it would be using obviously a WordPress build or something like that. So
we just went through a migration on a HubSpot platform, didn't we, for a client?
yeah. We took one site and we kind of did a content distribution and a carve up because there was an element of the site that was being sold off and split. So one was a product entity within a site, and that product entity got brought out into its own entity. So you're taking one out into another, but both existed on HubSpot. And there's a lot of work done to ensure that it was called the carve out, really carving that out into that new site. And there's a lot of capability within the platform, and I think one of the key things that was quite interesting to work on with that carve out was work with a really strong HubSpot developer, because historically we've worked with HubSpot developers and there's a bit of a knowledge gap. It's quite hard to find. It's quite hard to find somebody good. But in this scenario, a lot of things were quite easy. So because we were carving out one brand from the other brand, something that we do a lot when it comes to, we treated it more as a rebrand, but something we do a lot with rebrands is ensuring that there's an entity bridge, a kind of a brand bridge, we call it, to ensure that Google is aware that these were part of one and now they're separate.
Yeah.
And that's key, because you've got something that's got all the equity and something that's got no equity. And you're trying to just tell Google that they should exist and they should be different properties.
Yeah. Well, it was quite a complex project, right? Because actually, and you've touched on it, it was a split out of two business areas, one of which was being retained but rebranded.
Exactly.
So you had, the business, known as Orange here. The Orange is being split into two halves. That's gone now. That's nothing to do with us anymore.
Yes.
And the piece that we're keeping is coming over here.
Exactly.
But we're going to be called Orange anymore, because that was the past. Actually, now we're going to be called Pear.
Yes.
And so we had to go through that carve out, as you say, and we split that out, and then we had to rebrand that, retaining side of the business as well. And it was quite complex, I know. I mean, I think the thing for me looking outside in was that, as you say as well, I think the pace at which we managed to move through that project and the efficiency was down to the team, not just Polaris, but the client team and the HubSpot partner,
Exactly.
all being really high performing actually.
And we didn't have a lot of time to do it.
No.
It wasn't a long time frame to do it.
We had really clear communication channels.
Yes.
I think everyone had a really clear remit. And I think from our side, we communicated from the offset what risk looked like for that client.
Yeah.
So I think taking the HubSpot nuances into the equation and us having experience and managing that anyway was actually not an issue on this this occasion.
No.
The nature of the migration was more of an area of focus because it was quite complex, but we managed to get through it.
Because it's a rebrand, okay, it wasn't a rebrand, but we called it a rebrand because it went through a very similar DNA of a rebrand.
Yeah.
So we called it a rebrand. And because we've done quite a lot, and there's so many horror stories about rebrands gone wrong. And I've been involved in a lot of them. We've been involved in a lot of them. And it's about understanding that you have to have that clear brand transition. You have to have the brand transition. So a lot of work we tended to do was to try to get that right, to try to match those entities and just get the messaging right on site, get everything right, because it's really key on that, because we couldn't redirect the domain.
Yeah.
You can't redirect the domain. If you've got one entity that has to exist, because that's an acquisition, and that is another acquisition, you can't then go, I'm going to redirect
It's
this
such a great case study. It's such a great case study.
It's difficult.
The case study is going to go live, I think, in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
We'll be able to
And
talk
again,
about it then.
it's only been, probably, a couple of weeks since we did the migration, and indexing is looking good. Performance signals are looking good at the start,
Nice.
and
It's definitely it's a good case study. I think for anyone in B2B that could be looking to embark on a rebrand or a replatform or whatever reason, and they need a partner, they should have a look at that case study on our site. We should link it actually. That'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. And it was really strong. But like you quite rightly said, in this scenario, it was all about getting the team right. And we had a very clear team roles, identities, and even running it kind of like an agile kind of project framework, not just a kind of classic waterfall, because it was tight. We didn't have much time. So we needed to ensure that we were working on the areas that were going to have impact. And some of the time it was just making sure that we fix these things quickly, because and another complication in this one was we didn't have access to the staging site. We never saw the staging site. We never saw the new site for the new brand. So the only time we saw that new site was on launch. So as you can imagine, we can't do all the kind of prerequisites, pre-checks and everything then. So it was actually really interesting.
The pain point is, I'm in a business that makes acquisitions all year round.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to manage the sites. Isn't that the pain point? All right, well, what do I do? You need a partner like us that will help you consolidate them as the acquisitions are made.
Mm-hmm.
And we know where the value lies in some of them and where there isn't.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be migrating sites that don't have any
just
value.
us forward.
Yeah, you can just fold that in, and you can just
before.
There you go. They can you can put global redirect in, and redirect them through to your main brand. But some of those sites will be and it's the ones that get inquiries.
Yeah.
If you bring in right now, we're getting somewhere. If you work in a business that makes lots of acquisitions, and any of those acquisitions or any of those businesses that have been bought have websites that get leads or inquiries, those leads or inquiries are coming from somewhere. We know how to investigate if they're coming from search. And if they're coming from search, you need to know how to retain that performance. We can retain that performance by giving you a roadmap to fold them into the site and consolidate them. That's a consolidation.
It's also a cost.
Migration.
You've got multiple sites, you've got multiple CMSs, and you've got to update multiple things. So as a marketer, you've got costs of server and everything in your website. And maybe you have multiple developers working on those sites.
Maintenance,
Yeah.
Ongoing cost maintenance, yeah.
And then obviously you've got then a situation where you have to update them. Which is, so you got to up. So it's like as a marketer, you spread yourself too thin. So, but there's also the search perspective is if they are very similar, then potentially they could be cannibalizing.
Yes, but the driver and the beginning point of that journey is
Yes.
going to be: is there any performance that I can see?
Yeah, of course.
Cost.
Mm.
Well, that's just cost.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean, but it's like again, it's understanding the performance cost.
Yeah, and
So-
cannibalization. They're not going to know that.
They won't know cannibalization.
No.
But search would, and obviously in SEO.
What they will know is a business has been bought. I've been landed a new website that marketing's got to do something with.
Yeah.
And how do I start understanding what to do with it? Well, the first obvious signal is it's
Does
getting
perform.
leads or not.
Yeah.
Whether it's getting what's the performance look like? Is it getting traffic? Is it getting leads and inquiries? If it's not, then it's low value. Then potentially it can be folded in.
Of course.
If it's getting leads, if it's getting inquiries and it gets organic traffic, well, then that means it's got a presence in search. That's when someone like us would come in and we'd be able to tell you this is the value of the site and this is how to best retain it as you migrate it into your overall brand.
Yeah. Consolidation, what we also call folding, is taking those specific performance microsites. We'd call them microsites, but they are their own sites, their own entry points.
Yeah.
And then building them into the architecture that exists in the current site, navigating the equity from the existing assets into the current site, and ensuring that we transfer the performance in rather than just having it die off by not being involved with it. So, yeah, I believe that's probably
Same thing. What's the entry point for them? Why are you going to...
out of their brand, out of their colours, out of their palettes.
Yeah, but why would you think, all right, I need these guys?
Just looks out of date. So why would you need...
Well, no, you've already made the decision to do that.
Yes.
But once you've made that decision to do that, then it's like, well, what's the bit what's the question? That's what it is in this situation. A marketing manager's always got a question that they can't answer or get an answer to.
Yeah.
When they can't get an answer to that question, that's when they go and
That's
look
a
for
trigger.
us.
Yeah, trigger point.
So what is the question they ask when they're going through a redesign or a UX migration? What's the first question they ask that comes up with no answer that leads them to look for an SEO partner? What's the first question? The first question in the previous one was whether they know it or not. Is it getting performance?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. But in a redesign or a UX, what's the question? Are these journeys going to work? The designs that a creative team have given me don't make sense to me. Are they going to work?
Are they just
I'm worried.
high concept designs?
I'm worried that the new page designs are leaving so much off compared to the current site. I'm worried we're losing lots of our content.
But you might have had an SEO involved on the current site to do that kind of work in the first place. And then you move into a totally different look and feel. So it's about, again, it's that peace of mind that you're not. There's always a risk when it comes to migrations. Any kind of migration, it could be URL structure change, it could be anything change, it could be a H1 change, it could be anything. There's content changes and there's hierarchy changes. So that level of risk and design changes, UX flow changes. UX designers are very good at understanding best practice and how things should be, but they don't understand about search performance and search compliance, which is where something like us will come in.
Well, the question to answer, and got to keep it tight, is this page design going to actually work? I'm worried about the journeys. That's it. It's just that. Yeah. So the question, you might want to write this down. So we need to do a video around that. That's what the video is for UX redesign. Mm-hmm. It's the journey. It's the customer journeys.
Yeah.
So the question that marketing stakeholder is going to be asking is this new journey going to perform?
Yeah, performance. Yeah.
That's what it is. Is this new journey that's been designed going to perform? That's it in
Yeah,
its
yeah,
entirety.
yeah,
The site structure,
yeah.
the page designs,
Yeah. Eat factors,
the language,
factors,
the brand signals, all of that.
call to actions.
Is it going to perform?
Call to actions.
And when the marketing manager asks that question and they don't get an answer, they get worried. Then they start looking for someone that can give them the answer. We're the only ones that can give you the answer.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We look at it from a performance perspective.
Yeah. Is that a usable video of that?
Probably.
Do you get it? You get what I'm getting at,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
It's like I'm scrolling on the feed and I'm sat here and I've just been in a meeting where these designs have been debriefed to me, and I'm on my feed now or whatever, and then I see someone saying, "Does your
Be careful.
new design is your new site design going to perform?
Mm.
Is it gonna serve the intent of your customers?"
Yeah.
And I'm going to be sat there thinking, "That's exactly what I don't know."
Yeah.
Click. I need to learn more.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's the bit that we do.
Yeah, of course.
Is that usable? Is any of this usable?
I'd say the ones before this was, I think this was just a lot more of you kind of, it sounded like you was explaining to James what we wanted to talk about more than actually just talking about it.
Right.
I think this one, this is a really strong now. We've got it down, I think, know the question.
Right, so you just
You
need to
can
answer
make
it.
more of a conversation or an answer instead of an explaining it.
All right. So when it comes to a UX or a redesign of the journeys,
Yeah.
and that's the reason for updating a site, which is quite a lot of the time,
Yes, yeah.
I think marketing managers are in a position where they're going to be asking whether the new journey is going to perform.
Yeah.
I've been presented with a site structure from the creative team. I've been presented with landing pages or page
Wireframes,
layouts
yeah.
and wireframes. And I'm looking at it compared to what we've got live right now, which I know is already performing. I've got the data for. They look so different.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to perform.
Of course.
And I asked the question, and I've got my creative agency just saying to me, yes, because of the design and the colours,
Yeah,
and
trust us.
we've stripped things down, and the interaction design we're going to do.
We've cut the page down.
But none of that's
content perspective.
Yeah, but none of it's tangible. I'm not getting I'm a marketing person.
Yeah.
I'm not getting an answer that's giving me peace. I need to go and find answers.
And there's a risk, isn't there? There's always a risk. So, you have to understand that marketing managers are going to have that in their mind. There's a risk of doing any change. So this fundamental change is higher risk.